Macmillan started off 100 years ago when Douglas Macmillan founded the charity following the death of his father from cancer.
He thought even in those days there should be a change, a better way of doing it.
But now that people can speak more openly about cancer and cancer treatments, and they're getting better information about it, they realise that Macmillan's for people at any stage of their cancer.
I think over the last 100 years there's been a dramatic change in how we deal with patients with cancer.
A cancer diagnosis is a bit like throwing a brick into a duck pond. The ripples go far and wide and really affect everyone associated with that person.
The stories that you hear day in, day out, it just gives you so much strength to carry on in doing what you're doing.
The future had just come to a just grinding halt, I think, you know. Yes, you do get low and you do worry about what's going to happen to everybody after you've gone.
I went from being in a loving relationship with a partner that was going to help me and support me in every way to suddenly realising I was on my own.
I was absolutely flat, stony broke.
It affects the whole family.
My initial reaction obviously was shock. We didn't know whether I was going to live or die.
Hearing the daughter was diagnosed, you always think the worst.
I've been living with cancer for 17 years now. It's part of my life. Most people I come across don't know I've got it. Life goes on, I work, I play the role of father, husband. All these things go on. We just do what we need to do to survive.
People who have incurable cancer can be helped to live good, productive lives, sometimes for years. People who have cured cancer may well have problems long-term related to the cancer and its treatment, but with help such as that which Macmillan provides, they can live better lives and cope with these problems.
We're a force for change, we're a source of support.
Our job is to reach and improve the lives of everyone living with cancer.
Emotional help, physical help, financial help. If you need it, Macmillan can provide it.
But we couldn't have done any of it without our supporters, our volunteers, our professionals and our employees.
You pick up the phone and you can give the Macmillan nurse immediately. With the Macmillan, it's instant. It's there and then.
When I had my cancer in 1997, there certainly wasn't the possibility of this sort of support and certainly not this sort of information.
So you really need someone who's filtered all the information and gives you something that is secure and that you can rely on.
Helping people access benefits to replace some of their earnings from work, helping them access disability benefits, and also helping with things like the costs of travelling to hospital.
RBS supports Macmillan because our staff support Macmillan. We share a common goal, we share a desire to improve financial management, financial issues for people facing a cancer diagnosis.
I didn't know whether or not I would have been able to support her financially.
I love it when somebody rings me and they don't really know much about the benefits system, and I help them in terms of increasing their income, but also the emotional support that we provide as well. I enjoy, that's my favourite bit.
People are living longer and longer with cancer. That means that we've got about 2 million people living with cancer now. It's going to be 4 million in about 20 years' time. More and more people are going to need our services and what we can provide.
I think the fact that people are spending more time at home and less time in hospital, we increasingly want to see more services in the community, and that's through the whole spectrum, through people living with cancer to people being able to die at home if they wish to.
People with cancer no longer have to pay for their prescriptions, that's free because of Macmillan's campaigning, and we've persuaded the new government to spend more money on drugs for cancer that their doctors recommend.
And Macmillan's ambition is that regardless of where you live in the UK, what type of cancer you have, that you should have the best possible treatment, care and support.
What we're increasingly going to do is work with the local NHS in different areas of the country, changing the whole of the way that patients are supported through their cancer journey.
And what you see is an organisation that's joined up. You see people who've got an absolutely dedicated commitment to making sure they deliver the best possible service.
And I dread to think what it would be like to not have that support there. And I know that I would certainly do
everything I could to make sure that I can do something to help that stay.
Macmillan is almost 100% funded by the general public, and they do that in many different ways, from running marathons, holding coffee mornings and supermarket collections, to giving legacies and even climbing mountains.
I mean, I think the ultimate ambition is that Boots becomes a support centre in every community.
Both businesses and people touch so many people in healthcare, and together we can touch so many more. And it's just more than charity, it's much more about being together in the community for our patients and for our people. It's a fantastic partnership.
I'd like to thank all the people who raised money to support Macmillan. Without them, we couldn't do any of our work.
The more people that join Macmillan, the more we can help, and everyone can do something, you know, in fundraising, whatever they can do.
I mean, at the minute, 1 in 3 people are affected by cancer. It affects pretty much everybody in one way or another, whether they're living with it or whether they've got a relative living with it, so it's important to everybody.
We've all got a thank you to say. From my particular perspective, it's thank you to Macmillan.
Wish you all the best for the next 100 years.
I am Macmillan.
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 We are Macmillan. We are Macmillan. We are Macmillan. We are
We are all Macmillan.
I've almost, sort of forgotten about it because I just got back to being me.
I just can't imagine how I would have recovered if I hadn't had Macmillan to support me.
I would just like to thank Macmillan Unit, all the nurses and all the doctors, because they've been fantastic and made my life worth living again.